What's going on, everybody? Almost Counts Collectibles here, and in this video we're going to be going through all of the stuff that we just picked up from a flea market. Now, we haven't been able to get out and get to that many flea markets this year. The weather hasn't really cooperated in a lot of the surrounding area every time that flea markets are scheduled. So this one we actually went to on a pretty good day. There was a lot of people there, and we found some really cool items that we like to collect. So we're going to go ahead and get into it and start going through these bags and checking out all the cool stuff that we were able to pick up. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so we're actually going to start with this smaller bag right here. There's only a couple of items in here. This came from the same vendor. So first up, we have a sealed third-party GameCube controller. Now, this was in a tote full of all kinds of controllers. There were Xbox 360 controllers. There were even some old NES controllers. I didn't see any 64 controllers, but just a plethora of used controllers. Now, some of them were pretty rough. They said that everything that they had, they got from a storage unit. And they were just trying to sell everything off pretty much as cheap as they could. Well, I got this sealed third-party GameCube controller for $2. So I picked that up. Not a huge fan of third-party controllers. I mean, there are some decent third-party controllers, but a brand new one for just a couple dollars, I'll pretty much always pick that up. This is compatible with the Wii and the GameCube. It says down here at the bottom. It's got the GameCube system pictured there on the back. All right, and then at the very bottom of this bin of controllers, I actually found a Nintendo 64 game. Now, this is in pretty rough shape. I'm gonna give this a full clean, and I might even have to break it open and take a look at the inside of it just to make sure water didn't get into there, because some of the controllers were a little rusted, it looked like, so I don't know if any of this stuff got water damage. I'm not too worried about the controller over here because it looks like it's still sealed all the way around for the most part. I don't really see any like openings or full cracks all the way through. But this right here, we're going to clean this up and we're going to test it out and see if it works. I did pay $2 for this because, you know, they didn't really have individual prices on anything. Pretty much everything was in bins for certain amounts of money, and I went ahead and paid it just to see if this will work. Now, I actually don't have this game on 64, so if it does work and we can get it cleaned up, hey, it's another game to the collection. If it doesn't work, it was a couple bucks. So it's going to be fun cleaning it up, seeing if it'll work, maybe fully taking it apart and fully cleaning the inside of it, getting the outside cleaned up if it does in fact work. I'm not going to clean it first until I see that it works. I will clean the board and everything right here and the little connectors, of course, before I stick it in my 64. But if it works, we'll clean it up and we'll stick it on the shelf. And that's another 64 game to the collection. So for $4, I got those two items right there. So it'll be fun to see if we can get this working. All right, moving on to the next one. All right, bag number 2 here. So right on top, we actually ran into another vendor that said they bought a storage unit and was just trying to sell everything. Everything in this entire booth was $1. They had a lot of stuff. They had power tools. Some guy got a chainsaw for $1. I mean, they were just selling everything for $1. And they had this rack full of like hoodies and clothes. And they did have this Dragon Ball Z hoodie here. So I got this for $1. Now, overall, it's in pretty good shape. It does have, I think there was a little spot on it somewhere, maybe on one of the sleeves, but we're going to clean it up, see if we can't get it looking new again. And picked up a Dragon Ball Z hoodie for $1. I mean, just thought it was a pretty cool graphic on the front of it. All right, next up, we got some cool items here. So we found a booth that had some 3D printed replica cartridges, larger ones, of course, designed to be like wall art. These actually have the cutouts on the back. On eBay, you can get pretty good quality versions of this, the same size and everything, exactly what they've done here, for around the $25 mark, I think. I ended up getting, so we've got Pokemon Yellow here with the holographic sticker. We got Pokemon Blue, of course. I was only going to grab a blue, but then they cut me a deal for all three of them. So we got Pokemon Blue with Blastoise. Once again, we got the hanger on the back. And then we got Pokemon Red with Charizard. Now, they were asking 20 bucks a piece for these, which really isn't bad. However, I feel like the quality on these, like the sticker, for example, that's on the front here, they weren't cut out very well. Just a little sloppy on the way that they cut these out. And Charizard had a couple of tiny scratches on him. But all in all, I mean, they are pretty cool display pieces. But just because of some of the, quality control issues, they gave me all three for 50 bucks instead of 60. So they took $10 off. Ultimately, that came to like $16, I think, and something each. So pretty good deal to get all three of these. I've seen these before. I've always wanted some of them. These are about, I don't know, maybe like 8 to 9 inches wide. More like 10 to 11 inches tall, I think, are the dimensions on these. They're just really cool looking pieces. So we were able to pick up one of each of those. Those came from the same vendor. And then we have these. So we've got some Marvel trading cards. Now, they wanted $2 a sheet for these. There are some doubles in some of these sleeves. A couple of them fell out. I had to slide them down in whichever one was on top at the time. But we got a bunch of pages of these Marvel trading cards. Anytime I can find these for cheap, I try to pick them up. I think they're pretty cool. They ended up giving these to me for $1 a piece instead of $2 a piece. But there's just some really cool cards in here. So we got those. I also snagged a comic book. Got this for like 50 cents. Got Electro there. And then they had 4 for $1, all media items. So I picked this up. I'm pretty sure I picked this up in a video not too long ago. I actually finally got my hands on one of these, but this box was in really good shape. So I picked up another VHS copy of Home Alone 3. We got Shrek 2, the Party CD. It's sealed, so I just snagged that because I needed to find another item for the 4 for $1 deal. My wife had to grab this Kelly Clarkson CD. And then I got the old Limp Bizkit Significant Other CD. In pretty good shape, no cracks or anything. The disc is in really good shape. I remember having this CD a long time ago. Not sure what happened to it, but I'm trying to get my little CD collection back to kind of where it was when I was growing up in the 90s with some of the cooler CDs that I had. My Linkin Parks, my Limp Bizkits. I've even kind of been collecting soundtracks, just some random stuff, but picked those items up. So let's go ahead and move on to the next bag. All right, bag number 3, right? Yeah, I think we're on bag number 3. We got some pretty cool items in here. Found this sweet X-Files mug. Actually, my wife found it, but picked that up for 50 cents. It is an actual licensed product from 20th Century Fox, so thought that was pretty awesome. I'm gonna stick that on the X-Files shelf. Let's see, what do we got? We've got a sealed Bobby's World Happy Meal toy from McDonald's here. I have one up on the shelf. It's like the little blue car. Here we have Bobby with some skates with this like sled. I think that's maybe what that's supposed to be over top of him here. So we got a sealed Bobby's World. We got 3 of the Space Jam figures that combine to form the court. And when they roll, you know, they move. So we got 3 of those. I'm going to try to eventually. It's not really a priority, but whenever I see them for cheap, I'm going to pick those up. I saw this. So this was a bag of cassette tapes for $1. And the first one that caught my eye, because my wife absolutely loves this movie, was the Clueless soundtrack. And they also have an Eve 6 in there. I don't know if you know who Eve 6 is, but one of those cool bands that I remember listening to. They had some songs on soundtracks of games, I think, like your Test Drives and some other racing games, stuff like that. I don't think I really care about anything else in there, but those 2 items particularly are the only reason I grabbed it. So once again, we got Eve 6 there, and then we've got the Clueless motion picture soundtrack. And everything in this bag he charged me $8 for it. I gave him $10, told him to keep the change because he did throw something else in for free that my kid was eyeballing. So got another CD here. We got Chumbawamba. I grabbed that off the table. It was in really good shape. Whenever I find the CDs in really good condition and the cases, I gotta pick them up. And then we also got Creed. Say what you want about Creed, an iconic band, you know, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s. We got the Creed CD. Had the special 2-disc limited collector's edition of E.T. Just looked to be in really good shape. I don't know if it's missing. I mean, it's even got the little inserts and everything. The discs are in really good shape. I don't know if it's missing an outward cover. It might be, but like I said, get all this stuff for $8. Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. So we got that DVD to add to the Dragon Ball Z collection over there. And we got another copy of Rugrats, the movie, on VHS, in good shape. Probably going to end up with the Guinness Book of World Records for the most owned copies of this movie because we pick it up every time we see it. Unless it's like an unreasonable amount of money, you know, unless they want like 50 to $100 for it. Every time we see one of these, we pick it up because it's usually $1 or a couple bucks. And for some reason, just can't say no. I don't know why. This is probably like I want to say between the 5th, somewhere between 5 and 8 copies of this we have now, just from picking it up at stores every time we see it. So everything in that bag I just showed you, like I said, was $8. So let's go ahead and move on to the next bag. All right, we are on the final bag. Should be bag number 4, I think, if I'm keeping track correctly. I'm not sure. So this right here. This, which is the 3 VHS collection of the original Star Wars trilogy, this actually was from that last vendor. It didn't want to, that bag wasn't in the best shape, so I ended up taking it out of that bag and putting it in this one because it is really heavy. But this was a part of that other bag that I got for $8. This is in really good shape. They originally wanted $3 just for this, but like I said, charged me $8 for everything. It is in really good shape. I checked the tapes, no mold, no dirt, no nothing. So I have one of these. It's like the silver edition. It's over there on the shelf right now. We'll compare in a different video, but this is like the same thing, only it's gold. So I don't know the exact difference. That says special edition on the top. I see it over there on my shelf. Actually, it says it in the same spot, only it's silver. And this one is gold. I wonder if one's like widescreen, special edition. I don't know the exact difference. This one looks really cool though. So this is the second one I have, only it's gold. So we got that. All right, we got a sealed Mewtwo plushie. It says Pokemon Center on it. They had 15 on this. We got it for 10. So we got the Mewtwo. We got Digimon the movie on VHS tape. Only charged us $1 for this. They were asking $5. Case is a little beat up, but the tape is in really good shape. No mold, nothing like that. So we got Digimon the movie to add to the VHS collection. Might swap out the case. Got some Simpsons figures. I think ended up paying $2 for this one and $1 for this one, but we got Bart here and we've got Homer. I think Homer, I don't know exactly what this is. It looks like you put different sticker phrases up here and you just like set them on your desk or something like that. I don't know, pretty neat. Love the Simpsons. Try to pick up Simpsons items if they're reasonable. Got this right here. Ended up charging me $1/4 for this. Says Bart Simpson, don't have a cow, man. Radical dude. Just a little, you know, glass covered picture. Kind of looks like a really small, like old carnival picture. This was cool. Got this little pack of old Ninja Turtle cards. 11 cards, 1 sticker. They wanted $2 for that, but I ended up getting it for $1. All right, so in here, if I'm not mistaken, I think these were from like Burger King or a fast food restaurant that you could buy the individual ones when they were available, I guess. Let's check a tag here and see if it says 1990 20th Century Fox. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think these were like a Burger King or something like that collection, but they had the whole collection. I actually already have Homer. I picked him up for like $8 to $10 at a video game store once, but I bought this whole collection for $25. So I got Homer, we got Bart. Now Bart does have a little thing on his shirt here. I should be able to get that out with like a Tide pen or something. We'll see. That is like the only thing wrong with all of these. Worst case scenario, if I ever find Bart with a better shirt or something, I'll get it. But we got Maggie here. And then we also got Lisa and Marge as well. All in really good condition, especially for their age. So these are going to be awesome to add to the collection. So let's get these out of the way. We got a couple more items over here in the corner. So we got this Pokemon storybook collection. They wanted $1 for it. Got it for 50 cents. It is like, it looks brand new. I mean, I think this same book at the store, which I'm pretty sure you can still buy these in the store today. I think this is like a $10 to $15 book at least, but this thing is in immaculate shape. It looks like it's never been used. So we got that for 50 cents. We love our Pokemon, so I don't know, nice little book for 50 cents. Couldn't pass that up. And then this right here, this is what the one vendor threw in for free. It's like a little Charmander backpack. He's got a little zipper right here at his head. Now he is a little bit dirty, so we are going to wash him. But the only thing that's wrong with it is one of the straps. And it looks like a pretty clean break, but the threading, it goes right here like the other ones. The threads just came out. I don't know if it was pulled on really hard or what, but it looks like the threads just gave way. We're going to re-sew this together. We're going to wash it up. And we got a Charmander little backpack for free. So we'll add that to the stuffy Pokemon section. But let's throw everything back in the shot right here and check out all the cool little items that we just picked up from the flea market. All right, so here is everything that we just picked up from what I call a very successful flea market haul. We found a little bit of everything that we like to collect. We got the comic book, we got the Marvel trading cards over here. We got those awesome large little replica wall decorations of Pokemon Yellow, Blue, and Red. We got the Dragon Ball Z hoodie. We got some DVDs. We got the Star Wars VHS collection, the gold one. We got Digimon the movie on VHS, another Rugrats the movie, the X-Files mug. We got some McDonald's toys. We got this cassette tapes to include Clueless and Eve 6. Home Alone 3 on VHS, some awesome CDs. We got Kelly Clarkson, Limp Bizkit, Chumbawamba, Creed, a Shrek sealed party CD. We got the third-party GameCube controller over here. We got this Nintendo 64 game that we're going to try and restore and see if it works, get it cleaned up. We got some Simpsons items. We got the Charmander backpack, the sealed Mewtwo plushie back there. We got the Ninja Turtle trading cards, the Bart Simpson little glass picture, the Pokemon book. I don't know if I said that, it's back there in the back. Just some really cool items that we got for really good deals, and we just wanted to share that with you guys. So can't wait to add this stuff to the collection. I'm actually going to have to start clearing some stuff off up here to make room for stuff that we've got. You know how collections go, limited space. So when you get more things that you like, you have to start kind of packing away and taking things out that you don't like as much to make room for those. So we'll be doing that here soon, but I'm gonna go ahead and make the video about this Nintendo 64 game to get that posted, because I'm really curious to see if it works and see if we added another game to our collection for $2. So until next time, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. We will see you next video.